Hello, Internet. Welcome back to MaiSpace. This is episode 2, and wow, has so much happened since the first episode. I work with the comedy channel at the local TV station called Comedy Channel 415. They're helping me produce this podcast just by simply, you know, giving me advice and all sorts of stuff. I really appreciate the fact that they've been so helpful, so shout out to you guys. And yeah, without further ado, MySpace is a podcast where I get all sorts of local artists on here and I just pick their brains. I ask them about, what made them want to do art instead of, all of their accomplishments. I've really get to know them on a deeper level and open up, and also get to do interactive stuff with the audience too. So if you have a sketchbook, if you have crayons, get them ready because you'll need them later. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you enjoy. Hello and welcome to MySpace. And today I have Adam Goff with me. He is a writer, musician, director, actor, and just overall artist and performer. Would you like to give an introduction?
Hello.
What would you describe yourself as?
I would, all the things you said.
Yeah.
All the things you said.
Yeah.
I am a musician and singer and songwriter. I'm a actor and comedian.
You're in a band, right?
Yeah, I'm in 2 bands.
2 bands?
Yeah.
I know you're in Edgar Lee Island. What's your other band?
The Big Sad.
The Big Sad? Oh, that's a
Yeah.
great name. At Comedy Channel 415, he is also the director of shorts, and he works with a couple other people here. But let's just dive right into it. I'm ready to pick your brain.
Yeah, we can talk about comedy in a different episode. This one's about music, right?
This one's about music. We can talk about comedy as much as you want. This is your episode, man.
I'll talk about comedy music.
Oh, the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
Okay, well, first of all, what brought you to these art forms? What brought you to music and
Right.
expanding your horizon?
I come from a very musical family.
Oh, really?
I'd say most of it comes from my mom's side, and she got it from her grandpa,
Okay.
who, other than being a computer engineer, scientist man, also was very passionate about the ukulele and brought music to her life.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so definitely got it through environment, through learning how to sing harmony at church.
Okay.
I don't know, I always had an interest in it.
You just always kind of thought it was pretty
That
cool.
sounds neat.
I just think it just kind of stuck out to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I know with Edgar Lee Island, it's more of a Icelandic type theme. Do you use your ukulele in that at all? I don't remember.
We have 2 songs right now that use the ukulele.
Okay, what songs?
Two of them. In the first album, Microanalysis, the last song, I almost said it's like the last song, Between the Lines,
Okay.
uses ukulele. And then in our recent EP, Losing Sleep, the title track has
Okay.
ukulele.
Heck yeah. Speaking of people, they just came out with their first EP called Losing Sleep. If you want to check them out, they'll be on Spotify. I've given them a listen and I quite like it. It's a lot more upbeat, and I think it's pretty dang good.
If you don't use Spotify because of how they pay artists, we're on all of them. We're on all the music platforms.
Go check them out.
Yeah.
Okay, well, going back to music, because that's what this is all about today, what does music do for you? What does it fulfill you?
Right. Music, I think, is the best way I have found to put emotions that you don't understand into a form you can understand. I think that works for the artist and for the listener, just in different ways. The artist will externalize their emotions into the music, and the listener will receive it, and it will affect them in whatever way they're best equipped for.
I really like that. Do you find it like meditative? Do you find that you're able to get to a part of yourself you wouldn't in any other fashion through music?
I do think I can access parts of myself I wouldn't normally get to. I wouldn't quite describe it as meditative, if only because I'm pretty sure every time I'm playing music and writing it, I am thinking the whole time. Very thinking. I wouldn't say overthinking. It just takes a lot of thought from me.
Okay. That's very interesting.
I still feel it, and I go with the groove, and I can get locked in, and it's awesome. But there's never a moment of, like, clear mind.
Okay. I really like that. When you, like, what is it like when you get into your groove?
When you get into a groove, it's only ever happened to me when I'm working with other people, I think.
Okay.
And we get into a groove together, and everything starts falling into place. You're not worrying so much about rhythm or the notes, because it's so collaborative and everyone is working together.
Yeah, it's more about the like passion of you being able to create something together that you wouldn't by yourself, or is it something different?
Maybe. I don't know. Everything falls away but the emotions. And I mean, it's why you practice technical stuff, so you're not thinking about the technical stuff in the moment. It just happens.
Yeah.
But yeah, when you get locked in with people and you get into a groove, it is magic. To use a cliche.
I mean, I think it's a cliche for a reason, though.
Yeah.
I definitely get that. When I'm making music in my bedroom, there's a certain point, like when I'm making physical art, where you just like feel it lock in. Like you just, it gets to a certain point, at least for me, where it just kind of keeps flowing, it keeps going. And there's, at least for me, it's meditative because I'm not really thinking about it. It's just whatever comes out first. I just kind of like riff it and make it into something.
Yeah. I think that the feeling of getting into a groove with music with a group of people is the sensation of all of us are no longer just making music, we're also listening to music. We're listening to a song and we can all kind of feel where it's going.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, well, first of all, what is your end goal? Like, do you have a goal with your music? Do you have an idea of where you think you see yourself going, or is it just kind of doing it to feel it as you go?
If I ever had the opportunity to go on tour, which usually has the connotation that you have an audience, that would be spectacular, because what I want to do is affect people. And as long as I know I'm doing that on any minute scale, I think I'll feel satisfied. I could go my whole life doing something else, and music would still be part of my life because I'll never give up on it. Yeah. Because it is its own reward. Yeah. To me, the motivation to be successful in the traditional sense is to spread music more, have a group of people with this solidarity of feeling surrounding the art. Yeah,
I really like that. I think the feeling of making art to like for yourself, but also with the idea or even intention that it may affect at least just one other person is so powerful. Like if you can affect one other person with your music, at least in my eyes, like I've done a good job. Like someone else has had an experience because of what I've done. I've made some sort of difference in their lives, and that's all I can ask for.
Yeah. And as far as the monetary aspect of it,
it's a plus.
You want enough of it so that you can pay for like advertising and again get it in front of more people. If you truly think that it is, good enough for that. And in some cases, to be able to make the actual kind of music you want to make. I would love to make music with full orchestras.
Oh, that's awesome.
Super expensive.
Yeah, very.
But that would be awesome. In our first album, we used as many organic instruments as we could. And it involved a lot of local musicians, just not all together. And a live recording like that would be great.
Yeah.
On the other hand, if the music got so involved that you didn't have time for anything else, at that point, yeah, I would want enough money to live off of, because I'm devoting all my time to it. I don't have time to make money doing other things.
Right.
And everyone wants to live in everyone aspires to a certain level of luxury and comfort, I'm sure.
Take your time.
I keep trying to catch myself in these technicalities and be like, well, there are some people who will be super happy with nothing. But I think a lot of people like luxury, like the idea. So if I had music I was making that got me that would be great. It's just not the goal.
Yeah, that's totally fair. Going back to the orchestral part of it, that caught my ear. Is there, I mean, I know you said like the organic live sound of it like really appeals to you.
Mhm.
Why does that appeal to you more than like just having tracks on top of it? Or
Right. Good question. I think that having MIDI sounds, or like artificial music sounds, putting tracks on top of it, it works. I would say it's perfect for a demo because you want, in my opinion, you want a demo to be as close to perfect as it can be to give everyone the idea of what you're shooting for.
yeah.
But when you get a group of people all together, first of all, I think it's easier to find that groove. And in a live performance, there's that little room for it to be a once-in-a-lifetime performance. The little errors, even the little inflections that aren't errors, but they just do in the moment, that all culminates in a experience that can't be replicated. Which to me, as art, is beautiful, not necessary.
Yeah, I like that. I haven't really thought about it in that perspective of the like even the little inflections when you have something sort of organic come together make it even better. Like it just adds that little like that little twang to it. It just that little spice that at least for me it's so satisfying because you know it's organic. I personally don't like big pop music that is so squeaky clean because to me it's like all of the life has been sucked out of it. It's so pristine and perfect that it's almost too perfect in my opinion. Like there's not as much soul in it anymore. So all those little inflections give it all of its taste, pizzazz.
Yeah, when you have it so squeaky clean like that, I think you are unintentionally communicating another emotion, which is cynicism maybe?
Perfectionism perhaps? Or
in that case, it would depend on where it came from. If it's a product made by a studio, I would call it usually more cynicism. They think that people want utter perfection. Or maybe they know through numbers that is how
what makes them more money.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so that's what they'll do.
Yeah.
If someone's a perfectionist and they go that route, that is a different thing.
That's fair.
And usually still involves more soul and tonal choices and things like that.
That's true. I guess there are a lot of really big artists who aim for perfection, and that perfection is what gives them their difference. I could be wrong, but I think another reason why Morrissey of the Smiths is so hated, besides the fact he's not a great person, is also because he was such a perfectionist. His bandmates hated him. Like, he was such a perfectionist, it needed to be his way, and they were like, dude, stop it. This is not your band only. But also because of his overbearingness, you get all of the weird Morrissey music that, you know, and all of his weird woe is me songs. Going on, kind of on the same note, for people who are in your shoes, just, you know, starting to do shows, putting out their first EPs, like really starting to get past just that foot in the door, like what got you here? What advice would you give to people who are ambitious but can't find a way to start?
The resources to begin are available to all of us at this point. On a grand scale, not literally all of us. If you have a phone capable of recording audio, then you can do it. If you have one that's capable of filming video and audio, I would say you even have a leg up. But there are free sites out there to just put your music out there, and that is number one important. It doesn't mean you're going to get attention.
Yeah.
But it's important to get your thoughts in a tangible form, in a way where other people can see it. Think things like SoundCloud, and what's the other one? The other big one.
DistroKid, StarKid, what's it?
No, StarKid.
Hey, StarKid.
Caught you. I caught you.
No.
Talk about music. Anyway, Bandcamp, that's the one.
Ah, yes.
Bandcamp and SoundCloud, YouTube, great places to put your music out there. And just refine your skills, because you can go back and look at old videos of yourself singing and have self-critiques, healthy self-critiques.
Yeah. I think that's a very important distinction to make.
Yeah.
I feel like, at least in my experience, a lot of starting artists, including myself, are way too harsh on themselves because they're not at that squeaky clean level that is presented to them.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, do it for fun, really. If you see something that you like that someone else did, mimic it. I mean, you can make it your own, but there's nothing stopping you from creating things that you see.
Also, when it comes to creations and things that you've made, stepping a little bit back from music, I was told about movie. And speaking of directing, this guy directed his own movie and filmed it all in one day within what?
You're talking about movie.
Movie,
Okay.
yeah. Within what, the span of like an hour, 3 hours?
3 hours.
Yeah. What was the premise of that? I know it was based off of another video, but can you explain that more to me?
I don't mean to bog down. I'm a little interested what you mean by based on another video.
So in the beginning, you spoke, I guess wrote, about how another creator inspired you.
Okay, yeah. I follow you now.
Yeah, tell me about that.
There is a trend that we are on the 4th year of filmmakers, amateur filmmakers, attempting to film a movie during the Oscars instead of watching them. Out of sort of disrespect for the Oscars.
Like protest?
Yeah, and for a respect for indie filmmakers. It was started by a YouTuber named Joel Haver, who for several years published a short film every week on YouTube, and last year published 12 feature films in 12 months. Because his whole philosophy is just proving to people that you can do it.
Yeah, you just got to do.
Yeah, you just got to do. And it's hard, and it's a lot of work. And when you don't have the resources that big studios have or just rich people have, then you have to make do with what you do have. I filmed movie on my phone. And the point is not for it to be good, because it isn't. But the point is that I did it. And what a step for me to prove that I can do something. I was at my sister's house in Oklahoma when the Oscars started. And I just scrolled and saw the video issuing the challenge. And I was like, okay.
Bet.
I'm about to make an 1.5-hour drive.
Heck yeah.
And that's half my time.
Heck yeah.
So I did the drive, filmed as much as I could on the drive, somewhat irresponsibly, but fairly responsibly.
For legal reasons?
I wasn't distracted while driving at any point. I set up a tripod in the back passenger seat.
Yeah.
And then I got home, and most of it was improvised. Before I started driving, I made a call to a bunch of my friends from improv and from the station saying just, hey, if I call you tonight, roll with whatever I say.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
And so that's all it is it's 5 minutes of me eating a fajita.
Fuck yeah.
And then I go on a drive and call a bunch of people.
Yes. So I watched the whole thing through. And for my curious listeners, basically the premise of the movie is this guy just got a role to be in the lead role of some musical film, movie, whatever it may be. And he's excited, he's telling his family about it, he's ready to make this, potential big change in his life, to move to New York and do this. And then as he's, ready, telling his family about it, he gets this call. His producer is like, hey, so big change of plans. Can you be a cow? And he's like, what? He's like, yeah, can you be a cow? The role got changed. And he goes, can you moo for me? And he, out of confusion goes, moo? He's like, no, an angry moo. And he goes, moo. He's like, oh yeah, you're perfect for the role. You got it. You're perfect. And that little scene right there just cemented it for me. I was like, I have to finish watching this. I need to figure out what happens. I need to figure out if he gets the role. And most of it, for me, I was like antsy. I was like, the character was so on edge and up in the air and didn't know what was happening. And because of the way it was filmed, you also didn't know what was happening and why he's eating a burrito for 5 minutes. But it makes you question a lot of it. And even though it was all improv, I loved the way it was framed. Especially, there's like almost like a character arc. There's a part where, you assume this character to be single, and then he calls up his girlfriend, and is like, hey, like, I know I told you I wasn't gonna go, but this, and then there's like a sudden like romance in there. You're like, what? He's making this change and he has this relationship. And for an improv movie that was made within the span of 3 hours, it was so captivating. I really liked it and definitely got me to think.
Well, thank you, yeah.
It's called Movie.
Yes, with 2 O's.
With 2 O's.
Yes.
I suggest checking it out because it's very entertaining.
The soundtrack is my band.
Yes. And if you like any of the music from the soundtrack, again, go check out his music on Spotify and YouTube and whatnot. Okay, so now I would like to introduce a segment called Behind the Lines. I have 3 mediums in front of us. I have crayons, I have acrylic markers, and I have various pens and pencils. I also have canvas and I have a sketchbook. I would like you and also the listener, I encourage you to join us. Pick your medium and together we're gonna get a little deep while we draw. And I've got a few juicy questions I would like to ask you.
Okay.
What would you like to choose?
Crayon on paper.
Oh, hell yeah, I was really hoping you'd choose crayon. It's one of my favorite mediums. This sketchbook is all yours. This is going to be the MaiSpace sketchbook. So every person, if they choose, you can also take it with you afterwards if you want. If not, you can leave it in there as a memento for me. But please feel free to help yourself. Get comfy.
Yummy crayons.
Yummy crayons. Fun fact. My sister, I don't think she's ever going to listen to this, so I think I can say this. Sorry, Brianna. When she was younger, she used to eat crayons. And
classic behavior.
Oh, of course. And I'm kind of jealous that I never thought of that. Because she was like, oh my gosh, Mom, my poops are rainbow.
It's a novel idea.
And they're non-toxic. Like, guys, eat crayons. There's nothing stopping you. They're not toxic.
Eat crayons. Don't do it.
Eat crayons. Live on the wild side.
What a villain.
Oh, always. Always. So while we doodle and get deep, I would like to ask a few questions of you. Okay? Are you ready to get deep?
Yes.
Okay. What is a failure that you've had to overcome that could have changed where you are now?
Wow. Oh,
Yeah, we're getting into it.
Wow, I gotta draw and think. Okay. A failure. I don't know. I don't have a lot of regrets in my life because everything that happens gets you where you are. And where you are is a great place because it's the only place change can happen. You can't change anything in the past. The future doesn't exist yet.
True.
So right now is really when you have all the power, and I love that. It's when you have agency.
Yeah.
So if there's anything I could go back and change, I would have started performing live earlier in my life.
Do you think that would put you in a better position now?
I do. I think it would have made me a better musician than I am now. I understand that performing live can be a very daunting thing for some people. It is daunting, I believe, to everybody at first, even the people who seem very confident.
Yeah.
But it is where you get immediate feedback on the good and the bad, and you remember the good feedback for the rest of your life. And you meet other people who are also doing the things you're doing.
Yeah.
You gain mentors and friends and people who will help you on your journey. And you get a reputation as well, which is important.
Yeah, it's very important.
All of that are reasons I would prefer to have started earlier if I could.
That's very fair. Okay, another deep question. Admit something.
Admit something.
Admit something. It can be anything.
Is this episode officially going to air?
Yes, I'd hope so.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe don't say anything you don't want people to know.
Yeah. Admit something. Losing Sleep, the album, is about a girl I knew from middle school.
Really?
Yes, that is not something I have said yet.
Really?
Uh-huh.
I was wondering about that. I was actually listening to Daydream on the way over here. And Daydream I really like because it's got these really pretty harmonies, and it's a little less upbeat than some of the other songs on the album. And I actively thought, I was like, this sounds like it's about like a past love or a girl. Does she, if I may ask, does A, she know about it's, like, does she know it's about her? And B, was it like a relationship, or was it like a missed love, or?
Sort of a missed love situation.
Okay.
I mean, we had a relationship, we were friends. I don't think that she knows about the album in general. I mean, we have been disconnected from each other for a while now.
Yeah.
Funny enough, my first ever stand-up performance I did was at the JBU talent show. And I told a story that involved the two of us. Now, I didn't say any names.
Right.
But strangely enough, she did find out about that.
Huh. Okay.
Which was interesting.
That's cool. Well, thank you for sharing that. I appreciate you opening up a little bit.
Yeah.
Another deep cutting one. What insecurity holds you back the most?
An insecurity that holds me back, that the things I do are not any more special than what anyone could do. And therefore, it doesn't make sense that I should receive any extra attention for doing them.
Would you say it's almost like imposter syndrome type?
It's not that I don't believe I'm talented. It's just I believe I'm not exceptionally talented, more so than anyone else who should also get the spotlight. There is, at the same time, there is unlimited spotlight and limited spotlight.
Yeah.
And if someone's going to get a platform and a voice, it doesn't make sense that it should be me. And the way that it inhibits me is just that it means I take less swings.
I definitely can understand that. I think there's, in the back of my mind, there's always this voice that's like, why are you doing this? What is the point of you doing this? No one cares that you're doing this. Like, there's always that mean voice in the back of my head that's like, why are you special? Personally, I think everyone has something that they can bring to the table. I mean, you can have the same type of person do the same type of thing, and it's still going to be different no matter what. It's like what we were talking about earlier. It's like when you make a print, linoleum print or a woodblock print, and you print the same thing with the same kind of ink multiple times, you are never going to get the same thing ever again. Like it being the exact same, the chances of that happening are so astronomically low that it, even though it's very similar, still makes it so unique in its own right.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's a niche for everyone, 100%.
Yeah. The feeling never prevents me from doing things.
Good.
Or like making art, but it can prevent me from taking like swings that would involve pushing my art or trying to convince people to listen to it.
Yeah.
Marketing myself, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah. What lesson took you the longest to unlearn, and why?
Also a good question. Goodness. Lesson took me the longest to unlearn. That sometimes a feeling of love is actually a feeling of admiration.
Really? Explain.
There can be in life a very strong feeling of admiration for someone who is very talented, very themselves, and you can confuse that for the sense of love. When in reality, love is a much more broad feeling that you can feel for everybody. And maybe you do feel a type of love for them, but it's that myth that you think it's true love.
Are you talking in more of like a romantic or a platonic sense?
In more of a romantic sense.
Okay.
Yeah, something that you think is romantic love is just appreciation. How
are you really?
I am often stressed. I think it's in a good way. You've heard of good and bad stress.
Yeah.
I think sometimes that can cause me to a little bit disassociate from my feelings. I also feel like I'm a fairly introspective person, though, so I think I can detect when that's happening and reflect and really dissect what my feelings are.
Yeah.
So I have ways to cope. I think often I am genuinely happy. Like, that's how I am on the surface, and it's how I actually feel.
That's great.
Because I don't tie my happiness to what I have. I tie it to what I am, the fact that I am experiencing, right?
Getting to live, getting to, have the experiences you have.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I think my last deep question, at least that I have here, is what's been keeping you sane recently? And don't just say music, because that's what I'm expecting.
No, I would not say music is up there. What is keeping me sane recently? It's assuming that I'm sane.
This is true. It's a bold assumption.
Keeping me sane recently.
Have you been sane recently?
Such a good question.
That's the real
social
question.
Social time.
Social time?
Yeah, I am definitely an extrovert. Maybe sometimes I lean on ambivert status, but yeah, when I talk to people, it centers me. I feel the most myself when I'm with other people.
Yeah. That's very fair. I feel like ambivertism is not as talked about. I know a lot of people who don't even know what an ambivert is, which I think is very interesting. Because personally, I think knowing your social style is very good. It's very healthy to know like your social boundaries and being able to help yourself when you're getting overwhelmed or underwhelmed. And as far as I know, I think that's everything that I have so far. Is there anything you'd like to add?
Do I get to ask any of these deep questions to you?
Sure, if you want to. I'm
All
open.
right. What is your earliest memory?
Why?
What?
What? Oh, my earliest memory? My earliest memory is I'm in the first house I was ever in, and I'm in my crib in the like middle room, and I remember specifically this house giving me really weird feelings as a baby. Like my room had a very weird vibe to it, and looking back, I know it's because that house was haunted, and that house was insane. But we call it Park Place because that's where it was, Park Place. And I apparently would talk to people as a baby in that crib. And I remember just like laying down and then getting up and like looking around the room and like just being weirded out. Yeah. I think that is probably my earliest memory. Either that or playing in the pool in that same house with my family. I don't know which one was earlier. But is that all of the questions you had back at me?
I'm not as good at having deep questions. If you could be any kind of sports ball, what would you be?
Oh. So, well, this is depends on what you define as sports ball. Because if I could be any sort of...
Either it's ball shaped or it has ball in the name.
Oh, okay. I think I would probably be a softball. No, I take that back. I would be a ping pong ball because they're so airy and bouncy and they make a fun little pong. When you hit it. Yeah, a little,
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that encapsulates my vibe as a ping pong ball. Ping pongage, one would say.
One would say.
All right, well, I think that is all the time that we have today. I don't want to hold you up. Thank you so much for coming by. I really appreciate you taking time to draw with me. I don't know if we'll ever make this video, but if so, this is what I have drawn. And Adam, would you like to show up what you have drawn?
This is what I have drawn.
Thank you so much, everyone, for listening. Please stay tuned for more silly, wacky ideas I have for this show, and hopefully I can drag a few more local musicians onto here. Woo. So, thank you guys for listening.
Bye.